I help businesses turn their steam engines into bullet trains by bridging process, technology, and time-related gaps on HR implementations. My name is Jordan Jones, and this is my 15 minutes.
Hey everybody, my name is Lee Cage Jr. and we are back with another episode of 15 Minutes With. Now today I am joined with none other than Jordan Jones. Jordan is a project manager, engagement manager, a health and fitness guru. I even hear he cooks a little bit. He's conquering the world over at Workday. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Absolutely, thank you for
Good
having
to
me.
have you on, man.
Sir.
So Jordan, it has been, 5, 7, 8 years of you conquering. I think you're conquering the world. It's y'all, he's conquering the world. Who is Jordan Jones?
Jordan Jones is a amalgamation of so many people before me. And I think the blueprint that's been laid out is, kindness, diligence, perseverance, integrity, showing up as the same person, whether it's easy or not, hard work, not making excuses, all the characteristics that were either tangibly taught to me or just kind of like passively things that I picked up around my community, and also extremely community driven.
When we first started working together at Collaborative, you were in
Lifetime ago.
a lifetime ago. You were a project coordinator.
Yes.
You were building this brand and name for yourself there.
Yeah.
And I think you probably know this. I was super impressed by your drive, but also your humility. Then you went on to become a project manager.
Yep.
And was helping internally project management.
Yep.
And then one day I look up and you're at the mothership, right? So you're at the mothership of what is Workday. When you think about your career, and I think even I think you have a background in public health as well,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
When I think about your career, or when you think about your career from public health to nutrition to how you're serving customers, how does it all become this thing that you're at now?
Man, that's first off, that's a great layout.
I did my research.
If you need Lee on your resume, it's funny, man. I think about it a lot, and like my journey is a little atypical. Like anytime I run into another MPH, I call them MPHers, but somebody with a public health master's, specifically in like tech, it's always like, how did you end up here? Because I'm always like, how did I end up here? Yeah. I think for me, one of the things that I was always interested in was project management, people management, program management. I did a lot of that when I was in grad school, and so it kind of just drew me to it. And then coming out of grad school, I think the first thing I noticed was like the public health jobs wasn't paying, and I had bills. I got family that I want to be in a position to support, and so it really made me kind of look in the mirror and be like, all right, well, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like for me? And so I will just say that I was very fortunate that I had an amazing group of teachers and professors that helped me to establish a really strong foundation that, like, regardless of what I jumped into, I felt like I was gonna be prepared for it. And for kind of like life and Workday and collaborative solutions, I think the biggest thing for me has just been not forgetting who I am, like not letting the job turn me into like a robot, or just kind of lose myself in the process. And so I try to lead with compassion. I try to show up for others in ways that are meaningful, and not just kind of, hey, I did this, let me give myself a pat on the back. And I think all of those things have really propelled me forward, because people can tell authenticity, like you can feel that.
Yeah.
And also you can tell like when someone cares, even if it isn't necessarily, you don't have any rapport with this person, but this person is still looking to like help you out. So whether it be, at Workday, at Collaborative, whether it be Meals by Jordan on Instagram, if you want to tap in with my food page, or even just kind of helping my friends out whenever they have a question about an exercise that they should be doing for a specific body part. Like, my goal at the end of the day is to put more into the world than I'm taking out.
Wow. How do you stay organized with all these different things going on between work and personal life. Great dog. I hear you have a great dog.
Yes.
Shout out to the dog.
Yes.
How do you stay organized and how do you support your customers?
Great question, man. It definitely takes prioritization, and not everything can be at the forefront at all times. So, my day job pays the bills. That is usually going to be number one on my list. But all the intangibles, the fun things, whether it's posting meal prep recipes. I have to be true to that. And again, going back to the idea of not being a robot, I don't want to just be turning stuff out for the sake of turning it out. Like, I have to feel it. And if I don't feel the artistic kind of calling, or if I don't feel like, all right, I'm doing this in a way that is true to Jordan, then like it means I need to take a break. And from a work perspective, it's all just about kind of what that prioritization looks like. My coworkers and I will joke that we're part-time firefighters. Half the job is just what comes up during the day. And so, you have to kind of weigh, all right, well, how important is this? And does this customer send an urgent email every 10 minutes? Because if so, then maybe I've got to read through and realize, okay, maybe this is urgent or this isn't urgent. And, transparently in just the market that we exist today, like, how big is this contract? What does that mean for the business from a strategic perspective? All of my customers are going to get 100% of my effort. But if it comes down to who I can support and in which capacity, some of those things will help to kind of split the hairs. So it's not easy, but keeping a up-to-date calendar and holding myself accountable to my routine help to keep me in the game.
Yeah. If you were, now this question was submitted. Okay. All right.
Safe harbor.
Safe harbor. Okay. No alcoholic beverages were heard in the making of this question. If you were a beverage,
yes,
what beverage would you be?
Okay.
And I need a justification.
Yeah. So we're going any like alcohol, non-alcohol, doesn't matter.
It's your world.
Okay. Monday through Friday, I'm probably a tequila soda with lime because I'm very routine oriented. I'm to a T. I'm looking for what's going to be the most efficient for me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what my day-to-day routine looks like. Wake up at a specific time, hit the gym, take care of the dog, go to work, take care of the dog again, eat, read, lean into my hobbies. So I'm very kind of cookie cutter in that way, and that's what works for me. And on the weekends, I like to keep a lot of that structure, but then I feel like I go into like a Hugo Spritz. So we're getting a little more lively. We got some Saint Germain in there. We got some fresh herbs, but we still have that core of like, not doing a little bit too much, nothing too sweet. For me, I like to kind of be very mindful of kind of how I am approaching the
demure.
Day. Yeah, a little demure for sure.
What is your process for setting long-term goals? I know that you talk a lot about having structure and balance. I think both of those things have to coexist for people to be successful. But how do you look at stretch goals for yourself and maybe even for your customers?
That's a great question. I think I'll work it backwards. I think my customers, it's always like we want to begin with the end in mind, ideally. Yeah. So like I work medium enterprise. Most of my projects, the longest project I'll have at one time is like 2, maybe 3 years if it's multi-phase. But like if we're thinking about what phase 1 looks like, we need to be also considering how does phase 3 look when we get there. So I try to approach my projects through the lens of like, we get that we've got this business process today that has 20 different approvals, and we've got to send alerts to Jim, Bob, and Joe, and Kim, and Alicia. But in 3 years, when we start to layer in payroll and financials, do we still want to exist in that way? And so I think for me, when I apply that to my personal life, a lot of it is, how do I exist today and where do I want to go? And then like, what are the milestones that get me there? So financially, I just bought a house recently, and that was huge for me.
Congrats.
Thank you. And so I had to kind of lay out the blueprint, which bonuses are getting saved, which stock grants are getting put to the side. And so as I look forward to kind of what my life looks like going into my 30s, I try to apply similar lens in terms of, do I want to pivot into a larger home, starting a family, all of those fun things.
Wow. As you know, I just had a daughter.
Congratulations.
So I'm new on that.
Yes.
I've been married for a while, but new on the expanding the family, growing.
Yes.
I'm particularly in that. Jordan, I want to go to something we like to call rapid fire.
Okay.
All right. It is going to be the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yes.
And as I always say, we will judge you silently and out loud. Now, a couple of these I know already that dogs are probably your jam versus cats, so I might skip over that.
Okay.
All right. Action movie or rom-com?
Action.
Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok, more authentic.
Fancy restaurant or street food?
Oof. I can appreciate both, but if I'm traveling, street food.
Yep, all day long. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos, I could eat them every day.
If you could go back and say something to your younger self, Jordan, what would you say?
Ooh. I think my therapist asked me this last week.
Guys, I'm interviewing.
I think I find myself a lot of the times out of the moment, and that started young. I would just tell myself, be where your feet are and enjoy all of the experience, good, bad, or ugly.
Love that. It makes you the complete version of you. And I think, and I'm getting off here, but I think sometimes when we try to or want to come out of a moment too soon or erase the badness of a moment,
Yeah,
we may not be who we are today without it.
absolutely.
Or we may not have the same appreciation for things today without it. Or we may not see the world with the same worldview that we have today without it. My biological father was murdered when I was 2 or 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of that, for much of my life, I shared a father with my cousins. I would call my uncle daddy. So if anyone who's ever seen the movie Claus, Uncle Daddy, yeah, it's like it made perfect sense. I created it. Claus, you owe me royalty. Okay? But a lot about how I saw the world with and without a father as a young man plays a part into like that. And sometimes I wanted those moments to go faster. Looking back, I'm actually grateful for it because it's allowed me to anchor very differently now as a older man, not that much older, older.
Absolutely.
All right, favorite childhood cartoon?
SpongeBob.
SquarePants?
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Last one.
Okay.
If your life was a Lifetime movie,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be called?
It's a little long-winded, but it would be called The Only Way to Learn is to Live.
The only way to learn is to live. All right, with 2 minutes left, you get to ask me 2 questions.
Okay. All right. I was in here earlier, so I was prepping in my head. I was like, what do I want to ask?
Gosh.
So I guess one similar question to how you asked me, but we'll flip it. What's one thing that, you're looking 50 years down the line? What's one thing that you would tell your future self in terms of just like you're looking back and those 50 years may have flown and you don't even remember what life was like in 2026?
Something I would tell my future self, be you. Just every time I've ever tried to take someone else's mold and apply it to my life, it's never worked.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped doing that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I would just tell my future self, continue to be you. The door will open, the opportunity will come. People will love you, see you, and appreciate you because they know you're you. It's authentic.
Yep.
You don't have to try to remember what you said to this person.
Yep.
Just be you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the second thing, y'all, one thing Lee will never say is that he is such an amazing person to so many people. He's one of my mentors, and he talks about me conquering the world. I wouldn't be nowhere near as far as I am without his influence. So I want to say thank you, but then also, too, I want to just ask, how do you find the time, energy, capacity to pour into so many in such a meaningful way?
I think the world deserves to have good people who mean well and expect nothing. I almost never there's this thing, in poker, the chits.
Mm-hmm.
I almost never call a chit. If I do, I'm asking on behalf of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do the very best I can for other people. And I believe that that's why God gives me the capacity to keep doing more. I try not to squander that. I try not to take it lightly that, oh, I get to have this moment or I get to talk to that person. And my prayer, to be honest, and I don't know, LinkedIn might flag this. I don't know if I can say God or not. I don't know. I've never tried, but now it's out of here. Ta-da!
Forgiveness, not permission.
Forgiveness. All right. I think as I think about like my own legacy, it has a lot to do with that. Like, what do I want people to remember me by? Yeah. Yeah. Y'all, listen, I was expecting this to be like high and not low, you know? But listen, in the words of Samantha Bell, who is over at Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta, just do it. Take the risk, do the thing, take the opportunity, just do it. See y'all later.